Once we've set up all of the various options under the settings menu, we're then able to start adding employees. So to do that, you click on the employees menu and we click on new. So once you've got that, you put in the employee code. Now this is the TimeHub code. This is the code that they will use to clock in and out with. So it's a numeric code. It can be any code you like. We do recommend that you keep it to 2 or 3 digits, depending on how many staff you've got. And you can group the employees by using numeric structures if you wanted to. The payroll code is whatever the code is that the employee would have in your payroll system. So it could be the same. It could be this alphanumeric code. It could be any code that is working in your payroll system. You give them surname, first name. The start date will default to today, but you can put in a date of when they either started with the company or when they are starting using TimeHub. It's really only a reference point so that they can start clocking in or out after that date. So let's make it the 1st. We then put them into their applicable department that they belong to. So let's say it's factory. We'd say again that their cost center is factory. Are they full, part-time, contract, or casual? This is important because this affects things like public holidays. So with a public holiday, a full-time employee, which we'll talk about further down with the processing, but basically a full-time employee would receive their normal rostered hours on a public holiday, whereas a part-time or casual employee would receive the average of their last 4 weeks, and a contract employee would receive none. So generally they're going to be full or part-time, depending on your type of business. So I'll make this full-time. They're going to be either salaried or wage. Again, this has relevance further down the track with processing of the pay period data. Waged employee, all of their hours would be exported to your payroll system. A salaried employee, the hours are not exported to the payroll system because generally salaried employees do not get paid differently, but we still want to use TimeHub to track those people and record their hours. You can also do the same if you had a contract employee where you wanted them using TimeHub so that you could see what their hours were. An example that would be employees that were paid by through an agency that was supplied to you. But so if you would set those up as salary, then the hours will stay in TimeHub and not go to your payroll system. The weekly code is where we choose we looked at that earlier, the weekly code that we're going to use to pay the particular person. Are they on all ordinary with overtime? They're in the factory, so given that we've set this as factory, we'll choose ordinary plus overtime in the factory. Their region at this stage is important only from the point of view that these are all the New Zealand regions for working out their public holidays. The important one within this is the anniversary day. So we need to put in where they are so that TimeHub knows how to process the public holiday on their regional anniversary day. So that must be set as part of the process. We then choose which roster pattern is going to apply to this particular person. So in this case, we set up one earlier. Maybe we didn't. So let's say we're going to put them into the factory, and when that automatically becomes effective based on that, and are they going to receive any allowances? And we will put in that they're going to get the dust protect allowance, and they'll also get the clothing allowance. So we save that, or we go save a new, which then goes to the next employee. Once we've saved that, the data is then recorded, and you'll see that in the list here, there is my employee, Fred Nathan. If I go in and edit that, then I've got the employee's data loaded here. I can come back and change this at any time. Once you've added the employee, then you've also got the ability to look at the employee's individual roster. So by clicking on this particular roster option here, I can see what the employee's roster pattern is going forward over the next however many months I want to look forward. I have the ability using this roster calendar, which is an individual roster calendar, to go and roster the employee on leave. So I might go and say, okay, you can see here it's all automatically calculating the fact that there's Christmas Day and Boxing Day. It knows about the public holidays, but we might say that Fred's going to take the rest of the time of that particular week on annual leave, or might be rostered to do something different, might be taking his leave without pay. There's a number of things that could happen in this particular scenario. We'll come back to that a little bit more when we talk about rostering. The other thing which is important is if you have an employee who is using a personal device, then you need to set up their personal device in here. If they're on the team app, i.e. they're using an app where there is a single device and multiple employees are using it, you don't need to do anything. Their code will automatically be uploaded to that device. If they are using a personal device, you need to click on the plus sign. You need to put in a name, the device, and then save the changes, and you'll be given this code. This is the code that the employee enters on their personal app on their own smartphone when they add the TimeHub personal app, and we'll talk about that in a separate video, but this is the code that we'd use. It's a unique code just for a one-off use for that particular employee. Close that, and that there will tell me that the device hasn't been activated yet, and that would change once they had activated it, and then we simply save the employee. So adding employees is very fast and very simple. The important thing is that you need to set up those rosters, etc.